Alright YouTube, what's up? It's Ronnie back here. Video for round number 2. In my first video I talked a lot about, some of the cars I work on. I showed you this one, I showed you my Ford truck. Be showing you a few others as videos go on. So I'm going to start with this one. Kind of one I'm going to be working on the most. Probably one you'll see a lot of here as videos go on and time goes on. Just to give you a little background. This is a Civic Wagon van. They made a front-wheel drive version and they made an all-wheel drive version. They made the all-wheel drive version in the Civic Wagon, and they made it as well over in Japan and maybe a few other places in a 4-door sedan. This one in particular is a front-wheel drive. It originally came front-wheel drive, wasn't converted, nothing like that. Originally this car would have had a dual point motor. It is a manual, of course, but it would have come with a dual point motor. What is in the car now, as you are about to see, is an LS, a b20 motor. Give me one sec here. This one in particular is b20 Z2. Now you can find the LS motors, b20, b18. You can find them in Integras. You can find them in CRVs. You can anywhere from the later 90s, early 90s, late 90s, and then once they got into 2000s, they started switching them up in the early 2000s. Totally went away from the B series. But anyway, that's what these normally come in. This car would have normally had a dual point, which is this puny little 1.5 that they put in here that left a whole bunch of room for this big boy. And it basically had one injector, and then when you got to so many more RPMs, a second little one on the side of what looked like a super fancy carburetor would kick in at certain RPMs. Someone ripped that out before we got this and did what any good Honda kid racer would do, is dropped a LS motor. When we got this, my father actually purchased this one and another one at the same time from the same person, trucked them all the way down here to Colorado Springs. When we got them, I drove it for a little while, and then from there it kind of sat, and then it ended up in my dad's place, and then now it's ended up back here in town. So I am now working on it, put it back together, get it back on the road for my dad. As you can see, I've tore some of the dash apart because since getting it back, come up with a few issues. There are some things that even when I drove it that needed to be addressed that, my 50-year-old pops would like fixed, as any probably person other than myself would like, but I drive cars and just deal with it. It's car, beater with the heater. But this one he intends to actually drive a lot. I do have to get it pretty solid because my kids, his grandkids, will be riding in it with him. For its age, it's got really clean interior. Not too bad at all. The carpet could use a good cleaning, but the dash isn't all cracked and busted up. It needs a radio, some other little bits and pieces, but all in all, it's in really good shape. Door panels are all in good shape. They're not too withered or cracked on the top. We have a few little things here and there, but not too bad. So 91 Civic Wagon. It's been swapped from dual point to multi-point, or multi-point fuel injection for those of you who are unfamiliar. Nothing too special. When we took the motor out, did the clutch and everything, cleaned it up real good, replaced all the gaskets, painted the block, all the fancy stuff that your normal person would do on these. Put a nice big old intake on it. Since getting it back and started to work on it again just to get it running so I could figure out what the hell was going on, we did do the wires We did the cap, we did the rotor, and I do have a set of plugs. I'm a big fan of the NGKV power. These things are awesome. I love them. I've had B16s. I put them in. I have GSRs. I put them in just about any Honda. Doesn't matter what really doing with it. I've had good results with those spark plugs on Boost. I've had whatever. They're a great plug. Can't complain. No, they don't pay me to say none of that. I just, great product, and I'm one to stand behind and recommend products that I already use. So, when you got this car back, wasn't wanting to start when you turn the key. Looked at the main relay. For those of you who don't know, the main relay on the Wagos is located down here. Normally it's tucked up. It usually sits up here on some fancy schmancy bracket, but this one doesn't. I've kind of taken some things apart here to diagnose, and well, that's not one of the problems. One of the bigger problems is cleaning this up. This is going to be thrown back up and attached. My starting problem I've narrowed down to the electrical part of the physical tumbler assembly and everything. This also has some jankiness going on with it. So my solution to fix some of the wiring issues I do have, which aren't really too much anything under the hood or under the dash here, despite how crappy it does look right now. I pretty much know what everything's doing. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. In terms of this, what we are actually going to do is we are going to fill the hole that is up and back over here, or here we go, where the wires go through. We are going to go to the junkyard. On some of the Accords and so forth, they did have a boot that was oval, that had a slightly bigger diameter rubber that could fit when you tuck and shave and pull everything in. Now, we did pull the fuse panel from the engine bays in here. The ECU as well, sitting here just as it always has. I don't know if it'll mount directly up here on these bolts where it's supposed to go, but it definitely will be tucked back up in here a lot better than what you see now. Got the old flywheel. It's good for winter weight in the snow. So, you can see not too bad. So, new windshield's gonna get a new windshield. We had a leak up here. I was taking this apart to find out where we're leaking. Turns out we have a seam up here. I'll post a video when I put the windshield in that. We do those at the shop too. So toss a windshield in there, get that squared away. The other issue is we have this fan here, continuously runs with the ignition. Obviously that's not the way it's supposed to be. They kind of tucked it in here, grounded it off, and then ran this wire all the way up, and it pops out in the firewall up where we just were. It's wired on a fuse or something else. I'm not sure how they had it before. But needless to say, the actual connector that's for it is sitting somewhere in this lovely loom right here. It's trashed. So what we are going to do is we're going to go out to my dad's place this weekend, out of his blue all-wheel drive one that is now a parts car. Still has all the all-wheel drive, everything under it. It still has the single cam in it. The cool thing is that harness is the same one you see in this car. The only thing that changed is this harness has been shortened or lengthened to fit specifically in a position to make it look a lot cleaner. Hence, tucking the wires. So, I'm going to get that harness, get it all plugged up and working, and then once the car's working as it should, then we'll worry about the aesthetic of tucking the wires and making them look fancy. That should solve our problem for the fan running when it's supposed to instead of all the time. That should also, out of the same car, I'm going to pull this harness. And worst comes to worst, if I absolutely can't figure out what in God's name, why it keeps the starter clicking and everything else, I'm just going to yank the harness all out of the other wagon, and it's all going to go in here. There's literally no difference to that one at all. There's nothing different on the dash. There's no difference in any of the switches or climate control. Nothing. These things never got automatic windows, at least not in the Wagos here. No automatic locks, so none of that changed. I mean, literally, I can take all that harness. I can use that wagon harness pretty much in any EF or EE B-Series engine swap. So, and once you have that, then you're golden. You can pretty much, I mean, they even make setups to do K-Series stuff all off the B-Series, or at least some of that wiring that's all there if you have a car that's pre-existing for B-Series already. So, I mean, there's no hurt in having it done. So as we go through this, you're going to see addressing that issue, the fan issue, the wiring. We'll go out east. We'll tear that out. We'll check out my dad's cars. We'll check out the wagon. We have a 91 CRX that holds a funny story to it. You'll see that one. See what's up with it and the condition it's in, and possible plans for it. We'll see. Don't quite know. But yeah. So to leave it all off, this is the Wago front wheel drive b20 NA. We'll see kind of where it goes in the road. I'll post videos as we go. Appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Have any questions, any comments, hit me. Let me know what's up. Appreciate it. Thank you.